Hey guys, today I just want to talk a little bit about God and science. So, some can argue that a long time ago, that God was simply created in order to provide an explanation of where we come from, what our purpose is, and why the universe and everything around us even exist. It's argued that because there was no explanation for our existence found in the world around us, that there must have been some greater being that had created everything we see today. But with the emergence of science in our recent history, we have been given an alternative way of thinking. Through science, we have been given knowledge and understanding of the world and the universe around us. Through science, we have been given an explanation of who we are and how we got here. Through science, we know so much. Some say we may know too much. You see, with this understanding comes great ignorance and neglect. Ignorance and neglect towards God, and along with Him, His teachings. What happened is that because science has given us all these explanations, people don't need God's explanations in their lives anymore. So what do? They shut the door on God. They lock Him out, simply because He contradicts how science says the world works. Since they locked God out of their lives, what then happens to their belief systems? Well, they kind of take on a new form, and they kind of get started over. What God said was a heart is now replaced with what science calls a heart. People start taking control of their own lives now. They know that they can take care of anything by themselves. They go through life trying to figure out the best way to live. They start defining their own morals, their own beliefs, based on the experiences that they encounter. This is a never-ending process, though. It'll keep going and going. Every new experience will end up redefining morals and re-establishing beliefs. They will waste so much time going through these new experiences that when they are finally happy in life, when they finally get to the place they want to be, they may have gone through things that they might strongly regret. And on top of everything, they have wasted so much time doing this by themselves. Now let me ask you, why would you want to waste all this time going through these experiences, defining and redefining the way you live your life, when God gives the end result from the very beginning? You can go through and change your beliefs as much as you want. Waste all that time. Rack up all these regrets. But in the end, all these beliefs will be what God has been teaching all along. God knows the best way to live life. So why do we think we have to figure it out by ourselves? And now I know I learned this lesson the hard way. I admit that there was a point in my life where I couldn't believe in God simply because it didn't make sense to me how He could exist. I went on with my life, neglecting God. Just like so many people in this world, I had to figure out life by myself, starting with nearly no morals. I was defining my morals based on my experiences in life, like I was previously talking about. And let me tell you, it was a long, hard, and heartbreaking process. You see, personally, my troubles came in the form of dating and relationships. In my early years, kindergarten all the way to high school, I was never too attractive of a kid, and I went all the way till 10th grade without having a girlfriend. Now don't get me wrong, it's not that I didn't want one, it's just because I told myself I could never get one. I was the dorkiest, most nerdy, most out of style, most unattractive loser of a kid you would ever meet. Well, at least that's what I've been led to believe. I told myself that I wasn't allowed to talk to girls, simply because they wouldn't accept me. And gosh be darned, it was true. I went through all of 5th, 6th, 7th, all the way up to 10th grade without befriending a single girl. Heck, it was even rare if I even talked to a girl. Without having God truly present in my life, I was at rock bottom in having any morals when it came to relationships. I didn't even care if my girlfriend would have cheated on me. As long as I had a girl and she wasn't a prostitute, I could live with it. That's how bad I was. I had no real morals whatsoever. The only thing I really cared about in my potential girlfriend was how attractive she might be and that she loved me. Now, then I got my first girlfriend that came around the beginning of 11th grade. Long story short, she was cheating on me with the same guy throughout my whole relationship, and it lasted about 10 months, so that's a long time. But after this relationship finally ended, I realized that I needed a girl who would be 100% loyal to me. Now, sweet, right? I got one experience down, one moral defined, and it only took me less than a year, right? It's awesome. But continuing my life without God, 2 years later, I got in a relationship with this nice girl who I knew would never cheat. And this matched my morals perfectly. There was one thing about this girl, though. She liked to drink, she liked to smoke, and she liked to party. Now these things were all things I haven't dealt with yet in my life. I figured that maybe this drinking and partying stuff might not be that bad. After all, she was the sweetest girl I've ever met, and it seemed to be working out for her. Well, another long story short, I found out that all this partying stuff brings a lot more bad than good. I ended up not liking to see her do these things, and we eventually ended the relationship. After these 2 relationships, though, I can definitely say I learned a lot. I wanted a girl who didn't smoke. I wanted a girl who didn't drink. I wanted a girl who didn't party. I wanted a girl who respected herself. I wanted a girl who dressed modestly. I wanted a girl who wasn't going in the wrong direction in life. I wanted a girl who could love me with all her heart. And the list continues. These are all things I learned by myself through my experiences of dating. And I soon realized that everything I learned from my dating experiences is exactly what God has been teaching all along. If I just listened to Him from the very beginning, I wouldn't have had to build up so many regrets, so many heartbrokennesses, and waste so much of my time trying to figure it out by myself. It's just so much easier with God. With this realization, I also realized that God is probably most likely 100% right on every topic He teaches. Because if He's right on this one, He's probably going to be right on all the other ones. So now I follow God trusting He knows best. And let me tell you, I'm happier now than I've been all my life.